Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into the incredible story of Visa, the company behind one of the most widely used payment networks in the world. From its humble beginnings as a simple credit card program in the late 1950s to becoming a global financial powerhouse, shaping the future of digital payments, Visa's journey is packed with innovation, vision, and transformation. Whether you've swiped a card, tapped your phone, or shopped online, Visa has played a big role in making that experience possible. So, sit back and get ready to explore how Visa connected the world through a network of trust, technology, and endless possibilities. In the bustling post-war era of the 1950s, the world was on the brink of a new kind of revolution, not one of politics or war, but one of convenience and finance. At the heart of this transformation was a visionary man named D. Hock. D wasn't satisfied with the cumbersome, outdated way people paid for goods. Cash and checks were slow, unreliable, and often unsafe. He dreamed of a system that could connect banks, merchants, and consumers in a seamless, trustworthy way, something that would allow people to buy things with just a simple card. The story began earlier, though, in 1958. That was when Bank of America launched its first consumer credit card program in Fresno, California. It was called the BankAmericard. It was revolutionary because it allowed people to carry credit from their bank and pay for goods and services without cash. However, the system was still limited, fragmented, and faced many challenges. Different banks had their own cards, and merchants had to deal with a patchwork of systems, each with its own rules. This made it difficult for the credit card industry to grow beyond local or regional levels. In the early 1970s, D. Hock was brought in to help fix this tangled mess. His goal was bold: to create a unified network that could connect all banks and merchants, both nationally and eventually internationally. He envisioned a decentralized but cooperative organization that would be owned and operated by its members, banks and financial institutions, but that would function as one global system. D. Hock faced an enormous challenge. The banks were skeptical, merchants were reluctant, and the existing infrastructure was fragile. But D's idea was revolutionary in its approach. Instead of a top-down corporation controlling everything, he proposed a new kind of organization, a chaotic system, blending chaos and order. This meant that the member banks would share control and responsibility, creating a flexible, self-regulating network. In 1970, Bank of America decided to spin off the BankAmericard program, which was struggling under the weight of rapid expansion and growing competition. D. Hock was appointed to lead the new independent entity. Over the next few years, the system began to grow beyond California, spreading across the United States as more banks joined the network, issuing cards under the BankAmericard brand. But even with this growth, the name BankAmericard was a limiting factor. It was tied too closely to Bank of America, which made other banks hesitant to fully embrace it. Then, in 1976, the decision was made to rebrand. After a company-wide contest and much debate, the name Visa was chosen. The name was simple, easy to recognize in any language, and symbolized the idea of a universal, borderless means of payment. The rebranding was a turning point. Visa became more than just a credit card. It became a global network and a symbol of financial freedom. D. Hock's vision of a decentralized, member-owned organization flourished. By the early 1980s, Visa had spread internationally, linking banks and merchants across continents. Visa's technology was constantly evolving. The introduction of magnetic stripe cards allowed faster and more secure transactions. Later, chip cards and digital verification would continue this trend. But Visa wasn't just about technology, it was about trust. The network built systems for fraud prevention, dispute resolution, and secure communication that made millions of transactions reliable every day. As Visa grew, D. Hock's philosophy of chaotic organization continued to influence how the company operated. Instead of a rigid hierarchy, Visa thrived on collaboration and adaptability, responding to the changing landscape of global finance. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, Visa was no longer just an American success story. It was a global powerhouse. The financial world was becoming increasingly interconnected, and Visa was at the forefront of this transformation. As economies around the world began to open up and modernize, Visa seized the opportunity to expand into new markets, forming partnerships with banks in Europe, Asia, Latin America, and beyond. This expansion wasn't without its challenges. Different countries had varying regulations, currencies, and banking systems. Visa had to adapt its technology and policies to work within these diverse frameworks while maintaining the consistency and security that consumers and merchants trusted. But the network's inherent flexibility, a direct result of Dee Hock's chaotic vision, made this possible. Meanwhile, the 1990s ushered in the age of the Internet. E-commerce was emerging as a new frontier, and Visa again found itself in the middle of another financial revolution. Online shopping required new forms of security and transaction processing. Visa invested heavily in developing secure online payment systems, such as Verified by Visa, which added layers of authentication to protect cardholders. Visa's commitment to innovation didn't stop there. As digital technology advanced, Visa explored mobile payments, contactless cards, and later tokenization, a way to keep card details safe by replacing sensitive information with unique tokens during transactions. These technologies allowed Visa to maintain its role as a trusted payment network, even as the ways people shopped and paid evolved dramatically. Through all these changes, Visa stayed true to its core mission: to facilitate fast, secure, and convenient payments around the world. Its network grew to include millions of merchants and cardholders, with billions of transactions processed each year. Yet, as Visa expanded, so too did competition and challenges. Other payment networks, fintech startups, and evolving consumer expectations meant Visa had to constantly innovate and adapt. The company invested in partnerships, acquisitions, and new technologies to stay ahead. As the 21st century unfolded, Visa found itself at the epicenter of a rapidly evolving financial landscape. The rise of smartphones and mobile technology transformed how people managed money and made purchases. Visa moved quickly to embrace mobile payments, launching platforms and collaborating with technology companies to enable consumers to pay with their phones, smartwatches, and other connected devices. One of the biggest shifts came with the introduction of contactless payment technology. With a simple tap of a card or device, consumers could complete transactions faster than ever before. This innovation proved especially valuable during moments of urgency and convenience, such as during the COVID-19 pandemic, when contactless payments became a preferred method for reducing physical contact. At the same time, Visa faced new competition from emerging fintech companies offering digital wallets, peer-to-peer payment apps, and cryptocurrencies. Rather than shy away from these challenges, Visa embraced partnerships and investments in fintech startups to integrate new technologies into its ecosystem. For instance, Visa began supporting cryptocurrency payments, exploring blockchain technology, and working with digital currency platforms. Behind the scenes, Visa also continued to bolster its security infrastructure. Cybersecurity threats were growing in scale and sophistication, and protecting cardholders' data became paramount. Visa invested in advanced fraud detection systems powered by artificial intelligence and machine learning, helping to identify and prevent fraudulent transactions in real time. Despite these advancements, Visa remained committed to its founding principle of connecting banks, merchants, and consumers worldwide. It continued expanding into emerging markets, helping to bring millions of unbanked and underbanked individuals into the financial system through digital payments and microfinance initiatives. Throughout its journey, Visa evolved from a simple idea, a universal credit card, into a complex, global payments ecosystem that influences how money moves around the world every second of every day. Looking toward the future, Visa is poised to continue shaping the world of payments and finance. The company invests heavily in emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, and biometric authentication to create even more seamless, secure, and personalized payment experiences. Visa also champions financial inclusion, aiming to bring digital payment access to billions of people worldwide who currently operate outside the traditional banking system. Beyond technology, Visa's influence touches everyday life. From enabling small businesses to thrive by accepting digital payments, to supporting global travel through universally accepted cards, and even fostering innovation through its network of partners and startups. Visa's journey, from a humble credit card program in 1958 to a global financial giant, is a testament to the power of vision, collaboration, and adaptability. D. Hock's original idea of a decentralized, cooperative system continues to inspire the company's mission, connecting the world one secure and convenient transaction at a time. As the world moves toward an increasingly digital future, Visa remains at the heart of this transformation, helping people, businesses, and economies thrive in an ever-changing landscape. And so the story of Visa continues, ever evolving, ever innovating, always connecting.